Field level and data security setup inside a company can actually be protected using login setup. It can be so even super users don't have access to change their own security in there for field level and data security. We can also delegate so certain users is allowed to maybe manage users. Other ones will create the setup of new security codes in here. Field level and data security has been set up in this database. I'm going to do the initial setup for a different company in here. I'll switch to North America and do the few steps necessary to actually set up the data in here for being copied or getting the basic information from the Easy Security company. As I do this and run the copy data function, there's the field level security code that is being copied to this company also in here. If I will go and set up a user security setup, so for example I will have everybody in the customer table be read-only in here, except maybe for myself, that I will actually allow to have full access in here. Anyone that is a super user in this company can of course go change this data. So if David wanted to be a super user in here, he could go add himself without any field level security code and of course change this one in here. We have a way of protecting the data inside Easy Security. It's actually called login setup in here, and we can go delegate who can do what with the data in here. There's several fields in this record. All the one about editing is actually what controls the field level security, and this data is by company. So I can go here and add myself, and you need to have at least one person that can edit the main setup in here, and I will delegate that to myself in here. I'll also allow myself to edit user security setups, and I will allow myself to edit groups and user filters in here. But I could go in and say that Tim is also working with this one, but he really only create new field level and data security codes, and I will be the one assigning them to people in here. So as I put a record in here, I have now created that one. I need to do one more thing to make that active in here, and that's in the field level and data security. Go check this box in here about using login setup. This one now enables the login setup being used for controlling this one. So let's say I actually wanted to create a new field level security code in here, or I could also go delete one, for example. It won't allow me that because edit field level security codes don't have a checkup or check mark in there for my user ID, so I can't do that one in here. The same thing would happen if Tim was in NAV and he tried to go in and change user security setup. I only gave him the ability to actually change the individual field level and data security codes, not the user setup in here. So in that way you can delegate this one, and you always need at least one that is a super user. So if I actually try to delete myself in here, that will be the only one that can be the one editing the setup. It won't allow me because at least one person needs to have this check mark in here. But in this way, if you don't have a record in here in the login setup, you now will not be able to change anything inside the field level security tables. The application will prevent you from that. If you have a record in here, it can be delegated what part you can actually modify of the data in here. So in that way, you have a complete control of who can actually do what with this data in here for controlling field level and data security for the users in here. It's quite easy to implement this one, of course, and only way really to bypass it is of course not to use the NAV client. So if you end up with a real problem one time and you really need to change this, going directly for the SQL database of course allow that in here. This login setup can be used to controlling who can actually change what in here. So even super users, when using NAV, have no way of changing their own security in there.